Let's jump straight into how NIST recommends you manage IT system changes step by step. We'll cover the essentials you need for exams and real world cybersecurity. In cybersecurity, change management is a formal process to make sure any changes to IT systems are done carefully, approved properly, and don't create security risks. NIST recognizes change management as a critical security function, not merely an operational process. The framework emphasizes the need for organized control over changes to prevent security problems while allowing necessary system updates. Let's examine NIST's approach, which is highly structured and control oriented, particularly as defined in Special Publication 800 53 under Configuration Management Family. Rather than prescribing a rigid step by step process, NIST specifies functions and requirements while allowing organizations flexibility in implementation. The process we will describe represents a commonly used best practice sequence that aligns with NIST control objectives. The process typically starts with formal submission of change request. Here, the requester documents what specific system components will change and provides business justification for why the change is needed. This creates a clear starting point for tracking all modifications. Detailed documentation is created that captures current system state, proposed changes, potential impacts, and responsible parties. This documentation serves as the foundation for the entire change process. NIST Configuration Management 4 control, commonly known as CM-4, requires security impact analysis, a critical step where professionals assess not only how the proposed change might affect existing security controls, introduce new vulnerabilities, or create compliance gaps, but also consider potential operational and compliance impacts. While NIST CM4 control focuses on security, mature organizations extend this analysis to examine whether the change could disrupt essential business processes, affect regulatory compliance, or impact service availability. This comprehensive approach ensures technical and business risks are properly evaluated before moving forward. A designated Change Control Board (CCB) or appropriate approval authority reviews significant changes. This board typically includes representatives from security, operations, and business units who collectively evaluate both operational necessity and security implications for each change request. The board provides formal approval or rejection based on the evaluation. Approved changes must be tested in a controlled environment, essentially a staging or a test system that mirrors production but isn't critical to operations. This allows the organization to verify functionality and identify potential issues before production deployment. Only after successful testing does implementation occur. This involves executing the change according to the approved plan, often during a designated maintenance window to minimize operational impact. Post implementation review verifies the change was completed correctly and achieved its intended outcome without introducing new problems. This is critical verification step that many organizations overlook. Finally, all documentation is updated to reflect the new system state, including updating configuration baselines, security documentation, and operational procedures. This maintains accurate system documentation for future changes and security assessments. Throughout this entire process, NIST requires comprehensive documentation, creating an audit trail that includes approvals, test results, and rollback procedures in case remediation becomes necessary. NIST specifies several controls directly related to change management. CM-3 requires organizations to determine the types of changes that require formal control and establishes approval authorities. CM4 mandates security impact analysis prior to implementation. CM5 enforces access restrictions for change implementing the principle of least privilege. CM6 addresses configuration settings, ensuring systems maintain secure configurations after changes. CM9 requires development of formal configuration management plan that includes change management procedures. These controls provide a comprehensive framework for managing changes while maintaining security posture. Security impact analysis is a key part of NIST change management approach. While NIST requirements focus primarily on security, in practice, effective security impact analysis takes a broader view. Security professionals assess whether changes might introduce new vulnerabilities, weaken existing controls, or create compliance gaps. Mature organizations also assess operational impacts, such as effects on business processes, service availability, or user experience, and consider regulatory compliance implications beyond core security requirements. This broader perspective helps prevent unexpected business disruptions while maintaining a strong security posture. NIST does not prescribe categories like emergency or standard. These derive from frameworks like ITIL. However, NIST recognizes that urgent changes may require streamlined processes, provided they are still documented and reviewed after implementation. NIST requires formal processes for all significant changes to information systems, with organizations having flexibility in how they define significant based on their risk tolerance and operational needs. For small routine changes that don't affect security, organizations can use simpler processes while still keeping records. More substantial changes require full process compliance, including formal approval and testing. For urgent situations requiring immediate action, such as critical security patches or emergency system repairs, NIST acknowledges that faster processes may be necessary. However, NIST still requires that urgent changes must be documented and reviewed after they are completed to make sure everything was done properly and no security problems were created. This retrospective analysis ensures that urgent procedures don't become a way to bypass normal security controls, maintaining the integrity of the change management process even when time pressures exist. For certification exams, understanding NIST's approach to change management is essential. Remember that exam questions often present scenarios requiring you to identify the correct step in the NIST change management process or recognize when the process has been violated. Pay special attention to security impact analysis and change control board requirements, as these are frequent exam topics. Most importantly, recognize that for both exam and real world implementations, security should never be considered in isolation. The best exam answers will always address both security and broader business impacts, even when the question focuses on NIST technically oriented controls. When faced with scenario based questions, look for answers that balance technical security with business continuity considerations. To wrap up, NIST gives you a clear framework for managing changes that focuses on specific controls and requirements. While NIST doesn't prescribe a rigid step by step procedures, it establishes clear control objectives that organizations must meet, particularly through the configuration management family of controls. Remember, NIST expects you to adapt these practices based on your organization's size, complexity, and risk profile as long as you meet the core control objectives. I hope this overview helps you understand NIST change management and its role in securing IT systems. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next cybersecurity video.